Danny, Player of the Week, first time in your career, pretty sure. How's that feel?
Great. I mean, obviously not as good as getting the 3 points, but yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. You've been here almost 150 league appearances for Hartford. That might have been your best game. What's kept you here? Continually giving 110%, despite some of the rough years, the stretches where the team hasn't been very good.
Yeah, I think I would say it's a combination of things. When I came on a trial, so I think Hartford took a chance on me early on, and my family and I grew to love this place, and continuing to build relationships with the fans and with the front office, with the ownerships. I felt like I always wanted to give back and win with this club, win something, win a trophy, make playoffs, make the fans, the city proud. So I think it just kind of snowballed into me becoming kind of like a local as far as with my kids going to school, my family growing up here. I had a daughter born here in Connecticut now. So I think it's just a love for the city, a love for the state, and I think that's what's kept me here, wanting to give more to these people.
Obviously, that was a lot to give on Saturday, 2 goals and assist. 3 games left now, really all again feel like must-wins. What more do you have to give in that?
Yeah, I mean, just like every year, I'm going to give everything I have. Whatever role I'm asked to play, I'm going to give 110%. And hopefully we have what it takes to go on the road on a really tough week and get it done and look forward to a playoff game.
How do you mentally manage that? The travel 3 games in 8 days, going across country, a lot of time on planes, a lot of time in airports. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you prepare well, like we did this week, and then on top of that, you take care of yourself, you take care of your body. I think mentally that puts you in a good space to perform. And I mean, that's really all you can control is how you prepare and how you concentrate leading up to it. And then after that, it's just can we step up and take care of business.
On the field in Tulsa, what are you anticipating from them?
I mean, they're a team that's on the out playoff situation, but has a small window, and I think maybe that's their little slither of hope. So I think that they're going to give everything they have, as far as their season's on the line, and obviously ours is too. So it's going to be a battle.
You got your 10th goal of the season in the last game. How's that feel?
T'as marqué ton 10e but de la saison après le dernier match. Comment tu te sens?
Oui, je me sens bien parce que j'ai vu que quand j'avais marqué mon 10e but là, j'étais content là.
So he was really happy scoring the 10th goal.
You've scored all those goals in basically half a season since you've been in the starting 11, which is a really great return. How have you made that jump from being on the bench, not seeing a lot of minutes, to seeing more minutes and being able to put those in the back?
Il a dit que tu as marqué 10 buts en une moitié de saison. Donc, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pour que tu passes de être sur le banc et à jouer maintenant? Il a dit c'était quoi ta mentalité? À quoi tu pensais quoi?
Et pour ça, je crois que si tu pars dans une équipe et on te met sur le banc, tu as besoin de travailler plus pour revenir très fort, tu vois. Parce que c'est ça, je travaille sur mon mental et je pousse à l'entraînement pour que je puisse faire beaucoup de performances pour avoir de la confiance pour venir marquer des buts.
So he said that at the beginning he was new in the team, so he had to sit on the bench. But then he worked on so he worked at training and he worked in his mindset to stay focused and to keep working, so he can improve his performance in training. And then when he got his chance, then he could perform on the field.
A couple of your recent goals, you've had those assists from Michi. How have you developed that partnership with him over the course of the season to see that pay off on the pitch?
Il te demande, le dernier but que tu as marqué, c'était avec Michi. Comment vous avez créé ce lien qui vous permet de vous donner des ballons et de marquer.
On a une bonne relation, moi et Messi, parce que souvent à l'entraînement, on travaille ça. On fait des bonnes combinaisons. J'adore jouer avec lui parce qu'il m'aide sur le terrain, il me donne des conseils. Donc, du coup, on pousse à 100% pour réussir les occasions. Et tout c'est ça seulement.
So he said he starts on the field, they try to find each other a lot. They work on combination together in training, but also they have a good relationship off the field where Michi gives him advice and give him feedback. So they build that relationship also off the field, and then it shows on the field.
Last question. This is your first run into the playoffs in the USL Championship. How are you preparing for this tough stretch of games, 3 on the road, to try and help the team get there?
Can you say it again? Sorry.
That's okay. This is your first kind of run into the playoffs in the USL Championship. How are you preparing 3 games on the road in 8 days? How are you helping the team get there?
Il a dit c'est la première fois qu'on essaie de pousser pour les playoffs. Donc comment on se prépare pour aller chercher, sachant qu'on a 3 matchs à l'extérieur qui arrivent, qui sont décisifs.
Mais on va préparer comme avant, comme on a préparé les autres matchs. Parce que, bon, comme il l'a dit, on n'a jamais essayé de partir en play-off. Maintenant, on est sur le lancer pour jouer en play-off. Donc, on va continuer de concentrer sur les entraînements et de pousser ensemble.
He said nothing really has changed. We try to keep the momentum the way we used to prepare the games before that, and we're just gonna make the push and keep the motion going.
All right, Brendan, looking back at last weekend's game, started out obviously incredible, going up 4 goals and then giving up 3 in kind of 15 minutes or so. Just take us through that game. What was the positive? What were the negatives?
Yeah, a lot of positives, mostly positives, really. I thought we were a vertical threat all night. We actually scored a 5th goal that was not given. So on the attacking side of the ball, we were dangerous consistently throughout the game and clinical in the final third, which we haven't been most of the year. So that was really good to see coming down into crunch time now. Replicating that kind of offensive explosion on the road would be very difficult, but if we can show 2 or 3 moments of quality, that's all it takes now to turn the game. On the defensive side, I don't think it was as concerning as it felt in the moment. I mean, 2 of them were set pieces that are pretty standard situations that we normally deal with pretty well. So we just needed to tighten a few things up, and we talked about that during the week. But I think that game was a lot more lopsided than the scoreline ended up being.
Danny Barrera had an incredible game, maybe his best game for Hartford in his career here, player of the week. You mentioned after the game that had a little bit of a wrinkle there, moving out to the right-hand side. What inspired that?
Some of it was personnel availability. We had the 4 guys away on international duty, and we felt like, just given their skill sets, Marcus would create a great overload out of right back, but also cancel out Ezra, who had been their hottest attacking player, even though he's a left wing back. So we thought that was a good adjustment for Danny as well, because it has him traveling across the back 4 on his left foot, which he's deadly at. So we were just trying to free him up. I didn't think we would free him up that much. That was one hell of a performance by him. So really happy to see that, really happy for him. He's just grown into the team as the season's gone on, and that's kind of what he said he was going to do in preseason. So that's been really cool to see.
Looking ahead, going on the road for 3 straight, obviously TBD on the location for the Tampa game. Tough road, tough stretch. How are you approaching that?
Yeah, I think just one game at a time. In the first 2 games, we have a decent amount of time between the games. It'll be the turn from Tampa to Orange County that's a real nightmare. I mean, you're flying cross country. We're going to lose an entire day to travel, and we have 48 hours to turn around for a game. So I think the league dropped the ball in a big way there. But that's our reality. They gave North Carolina a home game, or Tampa chose to give North Carolina a home game, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say something. I think it was badly mishandled.
Focusing on Tulsa specifically, that's the first game. What do you anticipate from them? They're kind of a little bit up and down at the moment.
Yeah, Tulsa have been a good team, dangerous team. They commit huge numbers going forward. They have a lot of talented players. They can create goals from a number of different phases of play, but their style of play is very aggressive. I expect this to be a pretty wide open game.
They're another team. Obviously, they're in the Western Conference, but they're also kind of right in the playoff picture. They're playing for a playoff spot as well. Has again a feel of kind of another playoff game. I guess third one in a row.
Yeah, we said a few weeks ago they were all going to be kind of have that playoff feel to them, and they certainly have. The Loudoun game did. That was a good game, tactically tight. You know, they caught the breaks, we didn't catch the breaks, and Carolina, we caught the breaks, and for the most part, that's going to be how these tight games are decided. You got to be on point, limit the self-inflicted wounds, you know, be clean on set pieces on both sides of the ball. When you start talking about playoff games, it comes down to your best players showing up and being big in the moment too.
You mentioned Tulsa kind of playing in a wide open style. How do you approach that to take advantage of that?
Well, I think we had been very good leading up to the Loudoun game at being tight. I think with 5.5, 600 minutes without conceding a goal. We need to get back into that mindset, that mentality, the hard yards in between the lines to make sure that we aren't giving anything easy away. And like I said, with Carolina, we weren't too concerned with being easy to open up. We just had letdowns at the back post and then the front post on set pieces.